What's up agents, Patrick Wolf here. Today's video is going to be a build video, more specifically an SMG face tanking PvE build. This build is very strong for all matters of content, all the PvE content in the game, invasions, heroic missions, anything like that. The clips that you saw were from the invaded missions, the challenging difficulty. Now you can do this on heroic as well, but it's up to you how strong you want to make the build. I would recommend min-maxing it a little bit before you can actually do that. So what is this build capable of doing? You guys can face tank any NPC and face trade shots with them and you will never die. You will actually gain health and armor by shooting these NPCs while they're trying to kill you. And you guys know how strong these NPCs are and how hard they hit. You just tank all of it. Now, you look squishy. The build looks squishy, but keep in mind that you get everything back when you hit your shots. You shred through NPCs as well. It does a lot of damage, and you get you'll go into a fight with about 10% health left. Put a magazine into an NPC, you get all your health back plus 20% armor just from shooting them. So I'll bring you guys the Soul Stealer build. Let's get into this build video. So the specialization that you want to be running is the Gunner. Now make sure that Incessant Tier 3 is active, which gives you 10% armor on kill. It's not the most important part of this build, but make sure that that is active. The next is going to be Hardened Armor Kits. Make sure to have 150% armor for 10 seconds. This needs to be active just to help with survivability. So this is the build, guys. Let me explain how this works. So we're going to be using the Firefly. Clutch is the main aspect of this build, as you guys know. It regenerates health, but we're going to get into that very soon. I've got two pieces of Negotiator's Dilemma. We're going to get into all of that very soon. Now, 6, 4, 5. Why do we have that? Well, first and foremost, 4 is needed to be at 4, the tankiness, because of the clutch. You cannot go over 4. Unfortunately, if you could, this build would be the strongest build in the division, if you could. So the 6 is important because we need to do quite a lot of damage, seeing as though we're using SMGs, and we have to be able to kill the NPCs as quick as possible. So we have 180k armor. If I'm honest, guys, you can make it lower than that. You don't need it. 100k armor is perfectly fine. As long as you don't get flanked by more than 2 NPCs, maybe 3 and 4, you might be in a bit of trouble, but you need to hit your shots. If you can hit your shots, you can survive 2 or 3 NPCs tanking you and still regenerate health. So 130k health. Now that is hard to get. It's hard to get above 100k because you can only have 4. Now I'll show you guys how to do that. It's quite tricky. And you get 1100 skill power, which is important for the Firefly, as you can see in my gun on the talent. So let's get into the details of this build. So the gun you want to be using is not this gun if you don't want to use the MP7. You don't have to use it. I like the MP7. I prefer it over the Vector, but that is up to you guys. It kind of depends what rolls you get. Some rolls can be very low damage wise, but as long as you guys have eyeless, you need eyeless and Allegro. So I would recommend using this or the TA21. That is a very hard hitting SMG. I don't have it on me right now, but eyeless is going to be used with the blinder Firefly, and we're going to get it back very quickly, and this will give you 20% damage. Now, we could use Spotter, but let me tell you something right now, guys. This lasts way longer than Spotter. You can mod this that it lasts for over 12 seconds, and Spotter does not last that long. And the cooldown is way faster on this. You could get 10-second pulse, 10-second Firefly, but I prefer to use it. This is more fun. So if you guys would love to put Spotter on your mask and change the build around, you can do whatever you want. Now, keep in mind, guys, that my build videos are not, hey guys, look how good my build is. Because I know a lot of people try to flex in the comments and tell me that their build is better. I have a 500,000 armor build and a health and a 160k health build that I have that I could make. But the utility is not good for my channel, so I am not giving you guys max out rolls, max out stats. So keep that in mind, guys. I just want to give you guys ideas and show you mechanics that are fun to use and that work very well. I will never just show you guys the best build, the strongest build. If I do, I'll put it in the title. So these builds are just for fun, and they work really well. They are actually very strong. This build is ridiculously strong, if I'm honest. I've only been using this for about 2 days, and I really am happy with the way it's going. But just remember that, guys, that I'm not giving you guys a build video showing you how good my build is. It's not. It's nowhere near as good as it should be, but I'm just giving you guys ideas. So always keep that in mind when I make these types of videos. So we're going to go into the secondary. Now, this is important as well. The Nemesis is used for if you need longer range engagements, but the most important thing that you need to focus on is preparation. So you get 25% headshot damage because when you mod this bad boy, obviously you want to go for the crit chance mods, and you want to put optimal range right here, which procs with that headshot damage. Now, another thing as well, if you guys want to go into crit, because I am not completely focusing on crit yet, but you would like to stack crit. Now, always keep in mind that critical range is needed because you will not crit if you are more than 30 meters away. You won't crit. So a lot of people don't know that. If you want to focus on maxing out the crit chance for this build, definitely put the reflex sight on because it's important. That gives you extra range that you can crit with. So it's very, very important if you guys are making crit builds. But I use this for the headshot damage because this is not a fully maxed out crit build. So let's get into the gear pieces. Now, let's go over the two-piece negotiator's dilemma. Now, you get this from the raid. It's important you guys need to give it a try. Title Update 5, you get a chance to do it on the easier difficulty. This is not a bad thing. This is good. This allows everybody to practice the raid and get newer members into their clan maybe that are capable of doing it. And, you know, if you practice, you make perfect and you can do it. So it's a good thing. Now, we have got this for the 10,000 armor on kill. That doesn't sound like a lot. It isn't a lot. But when you've only got 180k armor plus the 10% from the incessant talent from the specialization, it really does help. It gives you that little bit extra armor on top of what the build is actually about, which is regaining health. So let me just keep that out there. This build is not for regaining armor. This is for sapping health out of the enemy. And it works extremely well, as you guys could see from the clips before this. So you just need to get that and roll health wherever you can. I've got armor per second regeneration. Don't worry about that. That does work for me. But you want to roll health on there. And you want to roll health on your mask. Cooldown reduction would be better here for the Firefly. So make sure you guys have health on these two pieces. Now, like I said before, you can move them around if you really want to run spotter, but I like to use the Fireflies. I prefer using it. You can do a lot more damage and it lasts a bit longer, but that depends on the mods you have. So just keep that in mind, guys. So how did I get my health so high? You need to stack as much health as you can in this build. If you don't, you'll just get melted and it will not work. So I've got a brilliant chess piece right here with Vital. Now you might be saying, why aren't you running Unstoppable Force and things like that? No, that's not what you want. Trust me, guys. You want to get as much health as you can. You've only got 4 chances to do it. So 41k health. Hello. That's all we need. 20% health. Now what would be nice here would be weapon damage or something like that. But skill power is nice because it activates my mods on my skills, which do come in handy in this build. So vital is vital for this chess piece. Gives us a whole big chunk of health. Very good usage of one stat there. Then the holster, we're just going to be cranking up our crit chance. We can't put any more health, which is what I was saying earlier. You could make this build overpowered if you can put a lot of health on it, but we can't. So we got hard hitting with crit chance as it's a PvE build. Then on the backpack, it's a very nice backpack actually. Got crit damage 7%. We've got some crit chance, 25k health, which is a good roll. Hard hitting as the talent. So this is going to just help us boost our health quite a lot. Now, if you guys don't know, at the moment at one of the Dark Zone vendors, you have a look at my vendor reset video. There's a backpack with 18.5% total armor in one of the vendors. So just make sure to purchase that this week before it ends. So let's go into the gloves now. This is the cornerstone of the build, the most important part of the build. You guys need to have clutch and you need SMG damage. If you don't have clutch, this build will not work. I repeat, it will not work and you will just die. You will just straight up die. Critical hits restore 20% health. We all know that. And repair 1% armor. What does that mean? If you guys have 400k armor and you try and repair it, it's going to hardly repair it at all. But when we have a decent chunk of health, 20% is massive. 20% of this, and let me tell you guys, it's all the time. Your health is just shooting up at all times. You're invincible. If you are shooting the enemies, you will not die. 1v1, 2v1, 3, 4v1, it becomes a bit difficult depending on how hard they hit. But you will not die, guys. You can blitz through the content. It is an amazing build. It really, really works. You sap the soul out of NPCs. It's really fun to use. If you guys like running through the content very quickly, like I do, you run through, blitz them away, and you get all the health you need to just carry on blitzing them away. Now, there are other talents you could use, but this is just, like I said before, If anyone wants to comment and say you should have used this, well, this is an idea. I'm giving you guys a canvas to start on. I want to see you guys paint all over this canvas. There's a lot of ways we can change this and make this better. So I'm interested to seeing the positive comments about this. The knee pads, we've gone over that. So this build is a lot of fun to use. And the reason why I use the Firefly is because I love using the Firefly. It really does help with the talent on our gun. We get 20% extra damage and it comes back very quickly. Now we could make this a lot better if we just mod this right here. It's going to be even stronger until update 5, guys. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be very, very strong. So this is, in the ideal world, this is what we want. And as you can see, because I have skill power now on some of my pieces, I have got a 22-second Firefly, which is unbelievably strong. Seeing as though it lasts for, I could make this more, but we're focusing on damage for the mods there. I could make this about 12 seconds. So if you think about it, it's really, really strong for a build that regenerates its own health and does a lot of damage, but you also have a lot of cooldown. So this is a lot of fun to use. And these fireflies have no range. So if you use spotter, which is good on pulse, you could run up close to them. But this you can prep them. You could throw this and then make your way from ranged. And then by the time you get there, they're already blinded. So I just prefer to use this. But yeah, that's 22-second cooldown, which is really nice for a build that you could consider pretty much a damage hybrid build because it's flat across the board. It's not there's no mountains there. It's just 645, pretty much straight line. So let's go have a look at the stats. These stats are not important. When you guys use this build, you'll just realize that 37% crit chance. Like I said, if you want to stack full crit chance, you have to get better rolls. That's fine. Take away the skill power and get the damage rolls. It all depends on who has the better gear or different gear. This is just the way I have it, unfortunately. The headshot damage really makes a difference with the scope that I'm using right now, so I can hit a lot of damage with on the head. Because I'm on PC, it's a bit easier. So if you guys are on console, try get more crit and put that other sight that gives you critical range. Don't forget, critical range is very important. So I have actually got 30%, 31% SMG damage with 5.5% all weapons damage, which is nice. Then I get pretty much 20% extra damage from the talent. The DTE is not that important at the moment. Trust me, guys, you don't really need that. This just absolutely shreds NPCs. 20% damage to elites, that can be raised, that can be kept up. But this kind of build is just interesting to try. It's interesting to use to see what could be possible in the future of this game. Because if you look at the stats, it doesn't look very strong from the armor perspective, but that clutch talent is so unbelievably strong. If you can get your health higher than 100,000, you can phase tank. The survivability is ridiculous, guys. So please make sure to give this build a try. It's a fun concept. I really enjoy it. It's a nice way to use SMGs because SMGs are not very strong in people's minds right now, and I like to bring different things to the table. So I hope you guys did enjoy this build video. Please give this SMG build a try. It's a lot of fun. The Soul Stealer build will surprise you in many ways if you give it a try. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to click that bell, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you agents in the next video. Peace out, boys.